Hey, good day, YouTube. What is today? It's about the 21st or so of March 2019. This is, I've done one video on this. I got this last weekend absolutely for free. Somebody threw it on Facebook Marketplace. I know they had picked it up days or a week earlier for $20. And they thought it would be good for parts for the mower they had. Turns out it's a little bit different, and the parts that he needed weren't the same. So he put it on back on Craigslist Marketplace, or Facebook Marketplace rather, for free. And I just happened to see it, and happened to be just blocks from my house or my shop, and went and picked it up. So in my previous video, like, man, I think this thing's okay. I mean, I didn't do anything with it when I picked it up for free. I mean, it was free. So I just loaded it up and hauled it home. But it is a, he said it was 5 horsepower, but I haven't run any numbers on the Briggs & Stratton engine, but it looks like a 3.5 to me. But I'll dig in and see. I did run the number on the deck. You can see it there. It's a V212PS. And that comes up aluminum deck commercial mower. And the S, I'm thinking, is for start, because it has this whole electric start mechanism stuff, and it works. It starts. I mean, the battery was enough to make it start, so that's pretty cool. Never had an electric start walk behind mower. So in my previous video, because you can't push this thing, because the pulley is hitting the frame. But as in my previous video, I said, well, look at all this grass. That's a telltale sign. That should be pointing down. And look at this extra bolt hole over here in this bracket. They don't put extra holes in stuff. So that's, something's wrong. So this whole mechanism, I think, has to spin up this way. And in further looking online at some other mowers just on YouTube, you can see this pulley used to ride right up in here. So first task we need to do to make this thing right is to get that transmission or gearbox rotated. And I think to do that, we're going to have to take some of this stuff apart. So what's the goal here? So I bought a brand new Snapper Mower 1988. I still mow that thing every week. It is the best mower. In my opinion, it's the best mower you can buy. I did buy a commercial deck. That was a 4 horsepower Robin, Wisconsin engine at the time. It's a steel sleeved engine. It still runs good. Might smoke just a little bit under load. But what a good mower it has been. I haven't spent more than $30 on that thing in repairs. I do take good care of it. And getting another Snapper, which is, this is, see, I've had 3 more walk-behinds. And I sold one of them reluctantly, but for a lot of money. And it's actually one of my other videos as well. So anyway, it was a free mower. I don't mind spending a little bit of money on this to make it a really good second mower. Whether I keep it or whether somebody needs it worse than I do and offers me some money for it or whatever. So let's dig in. I'm going to start taking this rear apart to rotate that gearbox back where it's supposed to be. I think somebody just took it apart and they put it back together wrong. So we get that done. The only other major issue that it has, which I tried to resolve a little bit in my previous video, is the governor spring is kind of jacked up. So need to get in, and I put another spring in it, which kind of made it work, but it's kind of not right. I need to identify this engine so I know exactly what spring it is, and then I can maybe get the correct spring ordered. It's just a $5 part, but it'll make all the difference in making this thing run correctly. And then we can service it and clean it up and kind of go from there. It'll be a great little second mower, third mower, fourth mower, ninth mower, whatever we got kicking around here. And we'll go from there. So get to getting. I'll check back with you when I got something cool to show you. All right, well, you know, it always has to be a little more difficult than you think it would, but Yeah, it's going okay. So I mentioned today and in my first video that they just don't put holes in stuff. And you can tell there's been a bolt there, but there hasn't been a bolt there in a long time because it's got grease build up over it. So if you move this out of the way, I don't know if you can see there, I got that thing a little bit tight, but anyway, there is a hole in there, and you can see this here's a stud with a nut. So I thought, oh, that might not be threaded, so I pulled that away, tried to put a bolt in it. Yeah, it's not threaded, it's a stud from the back side. So now you got to take gearbox apart to get to the stud, which hopefully didn't fall out and roll around in the gearbox and tear things up, and we're fortunate enough to not have had that happen. But will this bolt just come right out? So let's see. Yeah, it does nicely. So the question is what is it? It's a pretty special headed bolt. Wow. Well, whatever it is, I'm going to have to put it together with what I have. So I'll go digging for a round-headed 1/4-20 and put it through from that side and get it all bolted on with some locking nuts so that I never have to take it apart again. Maybe a little thread locker. Yeah, this had some serious knurls on it, plus a flat head, but wow, thankfully this didn't fall into the gearbox and take the gears out. All right, let me see what I find for a bolt and get the bracket bolted on forever so that it'll never, ever, ever come off, and we can put it back together. I'm on the right track, though. Wow, look what I found. This one here's all greasy. I don't want to get my fingers greasy. Is that not the bolt? Holy crap. So yeah, there's no screwdriver slot in there or anything. Got the same length of the knurls or whatever you call those. And it's the right size. I had one. I'll be darned. I've never wrecked one of these mowers out or anything, so I don't know where it came from, but woohoo! I got a bolt. Yeah, little wins. Alright, now that's the way that's supposed to look. It all fits good now. I just got to hang this shield back on. It's just got a couple of cotter pins that hold it. That must go that way. Alright. So I just got to throw a couple cotter pins in there. It's a little bit ripped up on this side, but it's not going anywhere. So yeah, now we've got and that must go that way just a little because it's not lined up. Much better. Alright, so now the belt tensioner works properly, and then the motor doesn't fall all the way down and hit the body and lock up the rear axle like it was doing. The gears all look good in there. Now it rolls. Even the what do they call this thing? I call it the tire, but the rubber that rides on the friction disc is in good shape. I actually just ordered one for my other one. It's actually in all these 31 years I've owned the other one, this is the first friction disc rubber that I have had to put on. However, it's been slipping for a couple years, but it's kind of been working. But so that's good. This one's in actually pretty good shape here and there. So I think I'll move on to the, look at that, I got a hole in the tire. These tires are pretty wore out, so I might have to get a couple. If she comes out okay, we'll do that. We'll move on to the carburetor piece of this thing and see about getting the governor spring dialed in. If that all goes good, then haul this thing down to the car wash and give it a washing, and we'll get it serviced and put her into use or something. All right, cool. On to the next one. So I was looking up the engine information. Usually it's on this side of the shroud. In this case, it's over here on this side. And On the code side on the right, that's 78. I'm pretty sure that's the year, because this is about a 78. I know the one that I bought new, 1988, so it's 10 years newer. So this is about right, I think. The white Briggs Stratton engine. This is probably a pretty high-end mower in 1978, but then most of the engines made and mowers made in 78 were probably pretty decent machines. So I'll show you what, a little closer view. I might have showed it on the last video of this governor deal. So it had this spring here was the only thing, and it was going from here to here. It's, I'm sure, not the correct spring. It was actually interfering with the throttle itself. Let me see if I can get a little more light on it as the sun's getting a little brighter. Does that help or hurt? Yeah, we'll see. So I'm trying to do it without messing with this. So I need to make a spring, because so far I'm just not having luck on the internet finding the exact spring. There is an assortment on eBay right now that I have in my cart that will probably just launch that order. It gives me at least a little better selection. This spring just came out of a box of miscellaneous springs. So I think what I'll do is try and take maybe this spring here and modify it so that from here across here there's no coils to it, and put all the coils in this side over here away from the throttle. I stuck this on as a return spring on the governor so that it would come back to an idle, and I think I still need that. So I might just clean that up a little bit while it's in a little bit better position to be worked on. But I'm going to work on this just a little bit, shorten it up. It's got about the right amount of spring to it. I mean, I'm sure there's an exact science to this, but I just need something to work. So let me straighten this out, probably cut some coils off this other side, and put that on, see what I think of it. I'll check back with you. Well, it didn't work out as I really wanted to. I wanted that spring on the other side of this throttle shaft, but there just wasn't enough room. So I just kept manipulating it until I kind of got what I wanted. And I think I have a reasonable amount of spring tension so that the governor will function properly. So it seems to be okay. I never really got this thing to idle like maybe it ought to, so I'm not sure about the condition of the carburetor. But it might be time to just go give this thing a bath. I should swing by the house and grab my other Snapper and give them both a bath. It's kind of a spring tune-up time. Somebody's got this all goofed up too. Look at that, can you get my view over here? Yeah. The spark plug cable should come out here, not be pinched off. Who does this? There's very clearly a notch for that. Somebody took this thing apart, or whoever last owned it, or first owned it, or something. Should give up his mechanic's card. Because everything he took apart, he put it back together wrong. Just takes a second to put this right. There. And it only takes a minute to fix it. Come on, people. Okay, that's better. I can sleep at night knowing that's in the right spot. Shall we stick the air cleaner back on? Look at all garbage down there. Don't you like these old air cleaners like this? You can just wash them out. Nowadays you have to go spend $7 on a cartridge or whatever. You used to just wash them out, oil them up, be done with it. No. You don't make enough money when you do that. Then they build these mowers that just rust out and fall apart so they can sell you some more. I'm telling you, I had my Snapper 31 years. I ain't a dang thing wrong with it except the rubber wheel on the friction drive. And I got a new one coming. That's $6 or $5 plus shipping or some such a thing. All right, where's choke? Yeah, we're gonna start it in here. I want to use the electric starter. Well, there isn't really a choice. It's not like there's a pole starter on it. Gotta use it. All right, fire and hold. Any of you check the gas in this? It isn't exactly something I have done, and I have no idea. I don't actually hear it though. What's in here? There's a little in there. Should be enough to make her go. All right. Try again. No choke this time. That revved up pretty good, didn't it? Let's see where the governor is. That started right up without choking it to death. Duly noted. Okay. So evidently I've got too much spring pressure. So let me back that off a little bit. It's adjustment time. I'm just going to push on that spring. Making sure you can see what we're doing. And straighten it out. 1, 2, 3, go. That's a little bit. Well, let's take a little more out. Oops. Oops. These aren't exactly the easiest things to work with. And you can just twist them and they just break too, so gotta be a little careful. Take some of the bends out, it'll make it a little straighter. Let's go a little at a time. We'll sneak up on it till we get it right. A little more. All right, see what that does. I don't have much spring left on it. Turn it off. Still too much, really. Very interesting. Okay. We'll take a little more tension out of it. We'll sneak up on it till we get it. How's that? I think we'll try that one. What if the governor's working? That's an interesting thought. Try again. Fire in the hole. There is not much spring tension left on that. I'm starting to wonder about the functionality of the governor at all. And you know, the fact that this was in here, some Mickey Mouse was probably in there jacking with it. And maybe there's nothing connected anymore. I don't know. But if we take that spring completely off, well, the throttle's closed now. I don't know. Let's try it. Is there an idle mixture screw adjustment on these carburetors? I don't know. Yeah, there it is. 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2. That's where it was. Just thinking. Take a half in. Try to make it idle. That's gas. I did the hand over the choke, and it's just this gasoline there. So it's probably flooded, I'd say, by now. Let's hold the throttle open. See if she'll start. Tell you what I'm going to do is put a battery charger on that battery. It ain't going to be with us much longer. Help this thing crank over. Can I get to any part of this battery with a battery charger? That's a good question. Let me get her plugged in and I'll come back after I fiddle with it a little bit. Alright, here's what I did. I fiddled with a spring trying to make it work. Couldn't make it work. I'm not sure that the governor in this thing works properly. You know, the next step could be to tear this thing apart, look at the governor. But you know what? It's a free lawnmower. Not trying to restore it or anything. Just something to use. So I just made a piece of linkage. No governor anymore. We're just going to let the engine do what it does. I'll be the one to use it. I'm not going to over rev it. And we'll just go that way. Let's put her back in. I got that battery hanging. So that it's plugged in, I can still get it on the charger. So we can get it started, because it's not like it's got a pull start, because it don't. Alright, how about a little light on this subject? Yeah. Fire in the hole. Ooh, she flooded out. Did you see that? She flooded out. I gave her gas real hard and it flooded out. Interesting. It's gotta be flooded down. Well, what do you think? I think she's going to be good enough to use, so we're going to go with that. So I'm just going to put her back together and clean it up and change oil in it. And we're going to run with it. What do you think? They got the drive working. It will start. It will run. It's all there. The back tires aren't too good, but they roll. And I'll use this thing, you know, very sparingly. I'll use it for something. It'll be kind of just a second mower to kick around, and I know that there's a few things that can be fixed further on it, but it's not a good time for me to dig into something like this, like that. So we'll wait and do that maybe over the winter or something. In the meantime, it's a perfectly good, usable, free Snapper lawnmower. So there we go. I'm happy enough with the way it runs. I'm happy that the drive all sorted out. It's actually in pretty good shape. All the linkages and stuff are good. We're good to go. So guys and gals, I appreciate you watching my videos. Hang around the channel a little bit. I got things kind of sorted out a little bit. Put things in playlists to make things easier to find. Some of my mini bike and garden tractor John Deere videos and so forth, and we'll maybe start a Snapper playlist here when I get a little bit of time. And I have some videos on my Snapper rear engine rider, maybe a couple of them. I can't remember what's out there. And I have 2 other Snapper walk behinds. I might get one of the other walk behinds out that's not a self-propelled and just put a mulching blade on it, and that would just, so I don't have to ever fiddle with it again. I have it, so put a mulching blade on it so I can mulch here with the grass I have here at my shop, and then take it home and thatch. Did I say thatch or say mulch? It's a thatching blade that I intended to say, so I could, you know, dethatch the lawn. So, and it might need a little carburetor cleaning, because the last time I tried to use it, it wouldn't start. So there we go. Gang, thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing. We'll catch y'all in the next video.